I have to apologize. I'm getting a start a good, 2 hours after I usually do, and that's because of apples. I also really need to unbind that from Zoom because that's really annoying. But anyway, I had to get 69 apples. Nice. But I only had like 4 or 5 just from chopping oak, and it took me a while to gather the stuff to be able to trade for enough emeralds to get that many apples. And it's now, like I said, 2 hours after I was originally going to start. Ooh. Oh no. Oh, I forgot to restock on my acacia, and it's coming to bite me in the butt because we're very much in a vault that is sandy. Alright, let's just get in there. I've got my buffs up. Oh yeah, I was working on some stuff for build phase yesterday in creative mode, and I had the unfortunate realization that corundum is one of the things that causes the glowing to happen in the vault, like the particle effects. And so, if I were to, well, actually, is that true? Hold on. This doesn't seem to be glowing for some reason. But in the creative test world, whenever I put down a block of white corundum, everything started sparkling. And that's kind of a problem, because if I'm going to build my roof out of white corundum at all, then it's just going to constantly be sparkling. And while it could be cool to almost like indicate snow, I don't want it to be active while it's not snowing. And also, it doesn't just go up. I mean, it doesn't just fall down like snow, or, like a spore blossom typically does. No, it just sort of radiates out from the block, and that's kind of a problem. That's not what I want in a roof. I want aesthetic gradients. Wow, that was some really convenient freezing breaking timing. Incidentally, I ate a burger, I think, since the last time we had a vault, and I maxed out our frost ability or whatever, that freezes people. So theoretically, we are now at, I think, a 20% chance to freeze enemies and just have them instantly die on the next damage they take. Trinket scrap. I don't think... Yeah, I don't have the gold for that, unfortunately. I've been getting a little bit better about converting my coinage up into the highest denomination possible, with the exception of I don't think I have a slot for platinum in my sack just yet. So, theoretically, as time goes on, I will just have enough currency to keep doing this stuff, and it doesn't help that I'm keeping a whole bunch of it in my, tool benches. And I think there might be a bag add-on that lets you use currency from your bag in whatever station you're looking at. So maybe I need to unlock that, or figure out what upgrade that is, and then I can start keeping all of my currency in my sack, and then, I don't know, just have a lot more currency on me at all times. Sure, it might mean that sometime I'll go for a transmog and realize, oh, I can't do this just yet because I spent it on something really expensive in the vault, but I don't mind that so much. I tell you, okay, I don't think this is going to be a good elixir vault for us. Coconut. Let me just take a look at this real quick. I think the structure, not the structure, the texture. The texture is a little bit rough to be using, potentially, in some of the combinations that I've got planned for my base, but I think in general that stripped coconut could look good. Oh yeah, what am I doing? I just realized that I totally haven't used my hunter's stuff yet. Yes, I know there's one behind me. Okay, now I don't think there's one behind me. You know, I was told by somebody that they really appreciated the personal story about volunteering at the library and for the book sale during the library episode, and I'm thinking of ways that I can sort of incorporate that stuff into these videos more often, and the only thing that I'm really getting off of this is the time that, with the Boy Scouts, I went on a high-adventure sailing trip to the Bahamas. That is to say, we spent an entire week on a sailing ship with, you know, like, actual sails and stuff, and we got to practice our knot work, tying things back, working as a team, and just sailing around the Bahamas. And it was one of the best times I think I've had, like, ever. Because there were, like, some rough bits or whatever. But I just remember that one of the things that was really enjoyable was sleeping on the deck of the ship, and most of the nights, if not all of them, I think were pretty clear. So we just had this open view of the stars, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. But I remember one day, it wasn't all just, you know, beaches and stuff. We were, like, genuinely sailing and out at sea for the most part. And sometimes, like, we'd stop at various islands in the Bahamas and just check out stuff that was there. And I remember we had exactly one beach day. And that day, I remember I had some prescription goggles for the trip because I am very nearsighted. Like, I can still see things very blurry or whatever, but I had some goggles that were close to my prescription. They weren't, like, custom-made prescription goggles. And they were just close to my prescription, so I could kind of see things underwater. It was like things were more in focus than my normal vision. And we went to the beach one day, and wait, was that when I lost them, or was it some other time? I think the time we went to the beach was when we were all trying to body surf and the waves were rough, and I think that was when I lost my digital watch, because I think I'd specifically gotten a watch that I could use underwater. And it was relatively cheap. It wasn't anything, like, mega fancy like a proper diver's watch. It was, like I said, just like a digital, I don't know if it was Casio or something like that, but it was just a silly watch that you could pick up, like, at Walmart or something like that. And I remember it came off during one of those roiling waves and just utterly swept away from me. And I remember looking for that thing, and I just couldn't find it. It had gotten washed away. And I think there was another time on that trip that I also lost the prescription goggles too. I managed to lose a lot of things on that trip. You know, the funny thing is, there was one night, I forget if it was the last night or the second to last night, but my flashlight accidentally fell overboard. Because I was in the position, like, next to the edge of the boat, and I was in no danger of falling off whatsoever. But there was just, like, this gap between the bottom railing and, like, you know, absolutely nothing. And so I put my flashlight down, not in its usual case, because, like, I also have, like, a case that's kind of like a pocket, and it would have flattened it out and prevented it from rolling, but I guess I forgot to put it in its case or something like that, and it just rolled over. And I remember the next day, I was like, hey, Captain, while we're all, like, bathing or something, because we would jump into the ocean and we would use some environmentally safe soap to just bathe in the ocean. It was pretty crazy. But we had swim trunks on and all that whatnot. It wasn't weird. So we would jump into the ocean and we bathe, and I'd say, hey, Captain, you don't mind if I take a couple extra minutes to try and get my flashlight? And, you know, I was thinking from the standpoint of, hey, you know, A, don't litter, but B, maybe I can potentially fix this thing. And, I mean, obviously it wasn't fixable, but I remember it's very interesting. You don't think about what buoyancy tends to do normally. Like, you think, oh, that's just, you know, 15 feet down. I can totally just swim down there easily, grab it, and go. But we're talking about salt water, so it's far more dense than fresh water, it's far more dense than pool water. So you think, oh yeah, I can totally swim down 15 feet and get this thing, and you've just got so much force trying to drag you back to the surface. I remember I took like 2-3 attempts, something like that, and it's not like we had diving equipment or anything like that. I just had, you know, like, I don't even think I was wearing a snorkel for that, because that far down, you're not using the snorkel. But I held my breath, and I really struggled against the forces acting to pull me back to the surface. And on that last try, I did just manage to get my flashlight. And, you know, I'm pretty sure we still have that somewhere. But it obviously doesn't work. It was just thoroughly flooded by salt water. And it wasn't... It was like one of those... was it a Coleman flashlight? I don't know flashlight brands that well. But it was like metal body and just very nice quality. And honestly, it's more fun that I was able to rescue it from the ocean than having a working flashlight, to be real. That was a good trip. I got the best tan. Like, I have never been able to look quite that tan ever again. And I think it was because it was a situation, you know, like where I wanted to be outside. Like there was a reason to be outside. Like I was doing stuff and learning things. And it was just a fun, really productive trip. I also remember that malaria. Malaria is a thing to be concerned about with the mosquitoes in the Bahamas. And A, I'm pretty sure I was pretty good with the repellent. But B, I remember, I forget if it was before or after the trip or both, but I had to eat these massive, or not eat, I had to take these massive pills to prevent malaria. And I very fondly remember having those with like some cookies. Every time I'd be like, hey, can I have a cookie with that? And I don't know. At this point, I'm just totally rambling, but it was fun. It was a very enjoyable trip on the whole. I also remember during the downtime, I brought my copy. Speaking of the library thing, here we go again. So from one of those library book sales, I got Tom Clancy's The Cardinal of the Kremlin. And it's like an interesting read. It's the sequel to Hunt for Red October, if memory serves. And I brought that along because there was some downtime where, you know, there was literally like nothing to do, pretty much. So I just brought that with me for reading. And I finished that book before the last day. And so when we were in the airport and there was nothing to do, because keep in mind, this is the days of flip phones and, like, I don't know, nothing really to do on them, and basically just don't bring any other electronics with you kind of deal. Actually, I don't even think I had a phone at that time. Yeah, it was early enough that I didn't have a phone yet. So I just brought Tom Clancy's Cardinal of the Kremlin, and when we were in this massive layover in, I forget if it was Florida or if we were in Atlanta at that point in time, but we had this just massive layover coming back, and I decided, okay, well, I've already finished this book, time to read it again, I guess? Because I'm very introverted. Like, I can tend to be very, I don't know, like I have hyperfixations, and I get really passionate about some things, and like a lot of the time I don't want to bother people with it. If I feel really close to somebody, I will absolutely natter about stuff. That can do with like Minecraft builds, Pokemon Space Engineers, it can do with like the latest thing I've been watching, typically, you know, like sci-fi or fantasy or something like that. or, you know, just random factoids that I've discovered on YouTube, because, like, you know, sometimes a random subject will just cross my feed and I'll become morbidly curious with it for, like, days on end. And I just, no shade, but there wasn't really anybody in the group of people that I went with that I felt that close to. So I was being, you know, typical introvert levels of introverted, if that makes sense. And it was also, like, mixed between two troops. It was my troop and, like, one from a neighboring town. And so, like, I just didn't know half the people. And, again, I'm an introvert. Unless somebody happens to go, like, hey, cool book, what's it about? Or whatever, I'm not going to easily socialize like everybody else. And that's easily part, like, mega nerd-verdance talking. I do not know how to approach people. People approach me. For the most part. I mean, sometimes the reverse is true too. Like, if I see somebody doing something that I'm really into, I can't help myself. I'm like, oh, hey, you're doing the thing. You want to talk about that? Or, hey, you're doing the thing. I enjoy that thing too. Let's be friends. That's actually how I met a couple of my friends from training back at my old job. It was like day 1 or 2, just during the bog standard corporate, you know, like, hey, introduce yourself, say a couple of things. And I forget if I was the one who mentioned D&D, or some of them were the ones who mentioned D&D, or video games and whatnot. And I just remember immediately, oh, hey, after this, like, intro stuff is over and we get into a group, we should, like, totally talk about D&D, maybe actually form a group. And I DM'd a couple of times down there. I can't say it was particularly successful. I'm not the best DM. Like, I know that. But I still met some very good friends that way. And I don't know, like, yes, I know it's atypical, and, like, yes, I know that I can be very withdrawn at times, but you get me on a special interest, and I'm like, let's do it. Hell yeah. Oh, boy. I'm having a day, y'all. I don't know what I want to do. Because clearly we still have a bunch of time, but we've not really seen any exciting rooms, and it's also occurred to me that A, my buffs are down, B, I haven't used my Hunter's Mark at all, and we're sub 10 minutes, so, heck with it. Okay, not really seeing anything. Okay, there's something down there. It's probably like a god altar or something like that. But yeah, that's also how I tend to multi-track drift, like, 15 different topics. This is the room off of the entrance. So I realize that we're totally going back into explored territory, but I'm just going to go across and I'm going to start branching. Because at this point, I know I'm not getting the elixir done. Like, A, I've been really slow, but B, the elixir XP is not that much this time around. So I need to do other stuff. In order to make this vault feel like I've done something, I need to do other things. That other thing is not in this room. Nuts. Okay, I clearly hear a trident, but where's the user? Okay. Ow. Okay, I see some living chests down there. That is worth it. You may recall we are definitely still hunting for anything XP, or knowledge essence, because there is a hidden room in here, I think. No, stuff is spawned from a different level. But yeah, we are very much looking for knowledge essence because I am at 8 points now, and I need another 8 in order to get botany pots. And botany pots, unfortunately, wouldn't have helped out with the apple situation earlier today. Okay, strike that. It technically could... Oh, you know what? Honestly, this is the way we end this thing. I don't even care if I die. Like, we're going to do this. How much durability? Okay, this is fine. This is actually fine. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to those blocks so that I can pillar back out. And moreover, I'm going to be smart and just, like, start the pillar just in case. Hello? Hello? I'm here? Is there something special I'm supposed to do? Or has the world just not generated yet? Will it... Oh! Oh god, yep, okay, nope, hostile. Oh boy. Okay, so I think the thing is you need to stay, like, a certain distance from the bottom of the entrance room in order to trigger, I'm guessing, a command block to remove the thing and decide whether or not it's going to spawn a whole bunch of bad guys. And so I suspect that by trying to preemptively pillar, I just wasn't triggering the exit the spawn conditions. That is my suspicion. I'm sticking to it. I'm just going to try to get a little more space so I can pop a regen. I think this actually isn't nearly as scary as I thought it was going to be. And I don't know if I've gotten lucky, or if I've gotten better, or if I've gotten better equipment. Okay, and now I just need to be keeping an eye on the time, because I am... what, 2 rooms off? And I tell you what, there's supposed to be treasure sand here. I don't know what that looks like, but apparently it drops coin piles or something. Coins and other good loot. I don't even know if we have any in here, because the problem is it looks so much like yellow concrete. But we definitely have the gilded blackstone, and that is like sort of a priceless commodity. I don't know if I'm even using that term correctly. Oh boy, alright, this is definitely a way to end this room. Or vault, sorry. If there is any, like, treasure sand here, I don't know what it looks like. Like, I cannot distinguish it from concrete powder whatsoever. I get rid of the regular blackstone for the gilded stuff, because regular blackstone is also kind of trivial to come across. And I think once we get into Botania, I might even just be able to generate it. Now, there is a possibility that I'm totally attacked on the way out, and that's what I'm hearing. But the nice thing is... Fudge. Fudge. Alright, okay, yeah, I think there is a good chance that I get attacked on the way out. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm hearing. And I have not planned for this. That might be my downfall in trying to get back in time. I just don't know if I have quite enough damage to be getting out of here in time, and I didn't bring any, like, fruit, so I might be kind of SOL here. Come on. No! 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 I think they might have just totally screwed me, because if I'd gotten there and started pillaring up, I might have been fine. But I'm pretty sure at this point, I'm doomed. Okay. That way's out? Okay. No! Okay, that might have cost me. Okay, I think I can escape. If this is, in fact, yes, this is just across the way. Dash, unfortunately, just came off of cooldown. Come on. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my god! Wow! I legitimately cannot cut the vault any closer than that. I don't know how I survived that. That was a nail biter. Look at this. Look at this. It doesn't even go sub-second. I just... Oh, I am shaking right now, you guys. Wow. Oh, that was so dang close. Okay, let's break it down here. Unsurprisingly, most XP from killing mobs, followed by chests, then mined blocks. We collected 13 coin piles, 47 chests looted, and killed 174 mobs. No modifiers. 35 wooden chests, 5 living, 5 gilded, 2 ornate. 0 ores mined, and yeah, that looks exactly like yellow concrete. How am I not supposed to... Anyway, whatever. The most XP dense mob... So far, it's the Vault Dweller at 132. Yeah, no, that's it. I don't think we have anything... Oh, no, we do have a wand to identify. Or maybe that's a sword? No, it's a wand. Let's take a look at this wand. Ooh. Ah, man, I... almost kind of wish there was an ability to dye it, because this would be, like, super cool. I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that this is totally Iskal's wand, but I don't know. It'd just be neat if you could dye some of the transmogs. I've played too much Final Fantasy XIV, but I think I'm going to hold on to this just because it looks cool. Like, I'm not even going to... Oh, I have another unidentified thing, too, here. Let's take a look at this axe. It's not going to be as good as the one I'm currently using, I bet, but... Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, no, the one on the left has higher damage, thanks to that plus 18. It's also got higher attack speed. You know, my current one, that is. Poison 2 Cloud. That is the one upgrade for the one on the right, I think. But in general, the one on the left is significantly better. The one on the right also has better durability. So that's another thing. But... that's whatever. And, oh. Apparently I also have a helmet to identify. Boop. I'm surprised I didn't have that already. Yeah, this probably also isn't worth it. One on the right has more armor. But that's about it. In regards to the other things that I usually keep a lookout for, it's not really doing anything for me. But I guess we got a ton of Gilded Blackstone, and let's see how we did on the Knowledge Essence. It's not great, not terrible. We got a lot of raw carbon, though, so that's fantastic. We can start making some more chromatic steel. But that is going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified. And as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback in the comments below. And with that, I will catch you on the flip side. Thanks for watching, everybody.